Good morning, everyone. My name is Lakshita Garg from the Department of Physiotherapy, Jamia Hamdard. I'm here to present a scoping review on the role of physiotherapy in ventilator-induced diaphragmatic dysfunction. Today, we will delve into a critical yet often overlooked complication in intensive care, that is ventilator-induced diaphragmatic dysfunction from the cause of mechanical ventilation. Now, first we'll understand what mechanical ventilation do and how VIDD develops. Mechanical ventilation is undoubtedly a life-saving intervention for critically ill patients with respiratory failure, trauma, and neurological conditions. Everything in life has some advantages and disadvantages. Like mechanical ventilation have advantages, it improves ventilation and vitals. On the other hand, it has disadvantages if we use it prolonged carries a significant risk of adverse effects. Among these, one of the major side effects is ventilator-induced diaphragmatic dysfunction, which is particularly nowadays a concerning problem. VIDD describes the direct weakening and atrophy of the diaphragm muscles, which is the main breathing muscle for breathing, due to controlled mechanical ventilation. This condition can severely impact patient ability to breathe independently, leading to extended stays in physio hospital, in intensive care unit also. Now, next question arises is how why is VIDD is such a critical concern nowadays? As you can see, VIDD plays a major role in weaning from ventilation. It can also be a common challenge in ICU we face in the weaning failure. It directly contributes to prolonged hospital stays and increases how the patient health complication. Now, studies have shown how rapidly this develops within 18 to 72 hours of starting mechanical ventilation. The lack of diaphragm activity can lead to rapid atrophy, and alarmingly, nowadays, research indicates that how diaphragm is even more susceptible to disuse atrophy compared to our limb muscles. Now, we will see how common is VIDD. Based on various studies, the is uh, VIDD is significantly 50% of brain dead organ donors ventilated for 80 to 69 hours, as study done by Levine et al. In 2008. For ICU patients ventilated over 48 hours, VIDD dysfunction can be as high as 60 to 80%. Another study done by Jung et al. In 2014. More critically, the VIDD is a contributing factor in 25 to 40% of weaning failure in ICU patients. The study done by Goliger et al. 2015. Now, to understand VIDD, it's crucial to grasp its underlying mechanism, as you can see in the flow chart available here. The controlled mechanical ventilation leads to significantly reduced and altered diaphragmatic contractile activity, which also significantly rapid development of diaphragmatic atrophy within 18 to 72 hours after starting the mechanical ventilation. Now, VIDD develops through several interconnected pathways. Firstly, the mechanical breathing can generate increased reactive species, leading to oxidative stress within the diaphragm muscle fibers, causing damage and atrophy. Another is active. Secondly, there is an activation of proteolytic pathway system like calpain, caspase, ubiquitin, proteasome systems. These pathways actively degrade the diaphragm's essential contractile protein. Concurrently, protein synthesis pathways are downregulated, further accelerating muscle wasting. Finally, there is an alteration in autophagy, and inflammatory responses also contribute to muscle fiber degradation within the diaphragm. All these mechanisms collectively result in structural and functional impairment in the vital dysfunction. In this diagram, as you can see, ventilator-induced diaphragmatic dysfunction is seen. Mechanical ventilation, how it affects the VIDD oxidative musculitic pathways, prophagic, diaphragm acrosy, weaning failure, extended ICU stays. And another hand, mechanical ventilation, oxidative stress, proteolytic system activation, which leads to diaphragm atrophy rapidly within 18 to 72 hours. Now, the main purpose of this review was to explore the pathophysiology, clinical significance, and physiotherapeutic interventions related to ventilator-induced diaphragmatic dysfunction, emphasizing the integration of physical therapy into critical care management. Now, the significance of the study is to address the critical yet frequently overused issue of ventilator-induced diaphragm dysfunction in patients undergoing long-term mechanical ventilation. By exploring the pathophysiological mechanism of ventilator-induced diaphragm dysfunction, the study aims to guide the development of targeted rehabilitation strategies that preserve diaphragmatic function. Enhancing diaphragmatic performance is essential for facilitating successful weaning from mechanical ventilation and improving overall patient recovery and outcomes in critical care settings. Now, moving to methodology. To conduct this review, we adhere to a rigorous methodology. Our search includes databases such as PubMed, Scopus, Cochrane Library, Google Scholar, BMC, NCBI, and ScienceDirect. We use keywords like ventilator-induced diaphragmatic dysfunction, the physiotherapy, inspiratory muscle training, and early rehabilitation. We focused on literature published from 2010 to 2024. Our inclusion criteria were very specific. English language literature, adult patients aged 18 years and older undergoing mechanical ventilation, limited to studies only human subjects. Therapies related to physiotherapy like IMT, diaphragm ultrasonography, and early mobilization. And these we considered reviews like guidelines or observational studies, randomized control trials, etc. Exclusion criteria, it includes the duplicate studies, studies with no intervention in control group. Now we'll discuss role of physiotherapy in VIDD management. This brings us to the crucial role of physiotherapy. Our review highlights that physiotherapy approaches play a critical role in both the prevention and recovery from VIDD. Use strategies include key strategies. Basically, it includes inspiratory muscle training, which aims to strengthen the diaphragm and improve weaning success rate. Typically involves 4 to 5 sets of 6 to 10 breaths through a threshold device performed twice daily, 5 to 7 days a week, as described in some literature. Early mobilization and rehabilitation are also critical. Following specific protocols for early mobilization, such as progressive activities from passive turning to walking, has been linked to enhance diaphragm thickness and function, helping to prevent diaphragm dysfunction. Diaphragmatic breathing exercises are also a key component of these physiotherapy approaches. Now, emerging physiotherapy and management strategies. Nowadays, there are various techniques developed according to the new advancements. There are some diaphragmatic stimulation techniques. It includes phrenic nerve stimulation, which involves the electrical activation of the phrenic nerve to induce the diaphragmatic contractions. Diaphragm pacing utilizes implanted electrodes to provide rhythmic stimulation, promoting muscle conditioning. Another strategy is ventilation strategies, that is assisted modes, transitioning from controlled to assisted ventilation modes as early as feasible to encourage spontaneous breathing. Pressure support ventilation is another technique which employs the lower pressure support levels to encourage patient-initiated breaths. Now comes to the results part. The key findings are a comprehensive review yielded several key findings. Firstly, we confirmed the VIDD is mainly caused by oxidative stress, activation of proteolytic enzymes, and leading to loss of diaphragmatic muscle fiber and decreased contractility. Secondly, physiotherapy approaches such as IMT and early mobilization plays a critical role in VIDD prevention and recovery. IMT strengthens the diaphragm and improves weaning success rate. A study done by Martin et al. In 2011. And early mobilization and rehabilitation helps reduce VIDD severity and improve ventilator weaning success. A study done by Golliher EC et al. In 2015. And another study done by Zembon M et al. 2000 Sola Diaphragm ultrasonography is a non-invasive method used for diagnosing, monitoring various conditions. Routinely evaluate diaphragmatic function with instruments like ultrasonography can facilitate early VIDD detection. Finally, the finding underscored that early physiotherapy intervention within the ICU is pivotal in reducing VIDD's incidence and severity with a multidisciplinary approach, significantly improving patient outcomes. Now comes to discussion and the conclusion. In summary, our discussion reinforces that long-term mechanical ventilation inherently risk ventilator-induced diaphragmatic dysfunction, impairing the diaphragm structure and function through disuse atrophy, oxidative stress, and proteolytic enzyme activation. VIDD carries a significant clinical ramification, making weaning from mechanical ventilation more challenging, raising morbidity, and lengthening ICU stays. However, a review highlights that early detection using diaphragmatic ultrasonography and target physiotherapy, including early mobilization and inspiratory muscle training, are crucial strategies to prevent or even reverse VIDD. In conclusion, VIDD is a significant yet preventable and manageable barrier to successful weaning and respiratory recovery. Integrating evidence-based interventions such as respiratory muscle training, early rehabilitation, early mobilization, and neuromuscular facilitation techniques can preserve diaphragmatic function, reduce the duration of mechanical ventilation, and improve patient outcome. A multidisciplinary approach involves physiotherapists, respiratory therapists, and ICU care. Senior physiotherapist is essential as it enhances functional recovery, reduces ICU stay, and ultimately improves quality of life in critically ill patients. Now, the future directions and research needs is first clarify why the diaphragm deteriorates faster than the limb muscles. Investigate the metabolic and structural differences. The second aim to do future researches explore mitochondrial dysfunction in the diaphragm. Real-time imaging and metabolic studies are needed to explore VIDD or ventilator-induced mitochondrial damage. Identify therapeutic targets to prevent or mitigate VIDD. This is the third aim or the future directions. Investigate protease inhibitors, mitochondrial antioxidants, and anti-inflammatory strategies to mitigate muscle wasting. Now, here are the key references cited in our review. Thank you for your time and attention. We hope this review has provided valuable insights into the management of ventilator-induced diaphragmatic dysfunction, and thank you.